Good evening, everyone. My name is Gary Goodman, and I am your MC for this evening. I would like to welcome everyone to Broward Partnership Salute to Leadership, a toast to Dodie Keith-Lazowick, presented by JM Family Enterprises and the Leo Goodwin Foundation. And now, let's please welcome your event co-chair, Elizabeth Underwood.
Thank you. I am honored to co-chair this event with Broward Partnership board member Jerry Gutierrez. Hi, Jerry. Thank you to all of our friends, donors, volunteers, partners, and guests for zooming in tonight. We are so excited to have you here with us. I'd like to take a moment to recognize the incredible generosity of each of our sponsors. Thank you for your unwavering support of this vital mission and for your generous sponsorship of our 21st annual Salute to Leadership. Our presenting sponsors are the Leo Goodwin Foundation and JM Family Enterprises. Our premier sponsors are Ultimate Software, Keith, and Lauderdale BMW of Pembroke Pines. Thank you for your support. Thank you to all of our sponsors and supporters. Over 30 companies and individuals are supporting our mission tonight. We also want to thank the Gala Host Committee, who gave extra effort to bring you tonight's event. Our silent auction is live until 9 p.m. tonight. We have wonderful items like a one-of-a-kind basketball signed by Dwayne Wade himself and all of the players from the Miami Heat's 2019 season, which, for all you sports fans out there, was Dwayne Wade's last season. So please take the opportunity to acquire something special while supporting our mission.
And now, it's time for our first raffle winner of the night. One lucky person will win a wine basket valued at $150. Before I announce the winner, please do not forget to visit our online silent auction. And the winner is John Castelli. Congratulations, John. Oh, by the way, earlier this evening, I mentioned I was your MC, but I forgot to mention that I'm also a magician. I grew up in Niagara Falls, New York, and at the age of 8, I saw my very first magic show. And I remember the magician was very tall, and he was standing on a stage, and he did something that looked like this. He counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. I then saw him toss away 1, 2, 3. But when he counted the cards again, he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. I was amazed. Hopefully like some of you out there. I went backstage, which you're not supposed to do. I found the tall magician. I looked up at him. I said, "Mr. Magician, could you please show me the one where you counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards? I then saw you toss away 1, 2, 3. But when you counted these cards again, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards." And he looked at me and he said, "Son, are you talking about the one where I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards? I then tossed away 1, 2, 3, but when I counted them again, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards?" I said, "Yes, that's the one." He said, "Can you keep a secret?" I said, "Yes." He said, "So can I." So I'm hoping one day we can all get together again. I hope I will have learned the one where the magician counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards, tossed away 1, 2, 3, and when he counted them again, he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. That's the one I want to learn. Please join me now in welcoming the chairman of the Broward Partnership Board of Directors, Mr. Ken Gordon.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us as we honor an outstanding woman who has been vital to building the mission of Broward Partnership, and we honor her with the James J. Blosser Community Trusteeship Award. This is Broward Partnership's highest individual honor. Things have changed so quickly. We are now using technology to host events. Individual squares on computer screens have now taken the place of venues, just like what we're doing right now. I have served as a member of the board of directors for Broward Partnership for more than 9 years. And during that time, I have seen the agency grow leaps and bounds in its commitment to helping our community's most vulnerable population. I could never in my wildest dreams imagined that in my first year as board chair, I would be dealing with a global pandemic. You know, when COVID-19 came about, everyone hoped that it was like the bird flu. It would come and go quickly, and that its bark would be much bigger than its bite. However, COVID-19 turned out to be much more. Fortunately, many of our sponsors and partners stepped forward and stepped up and have been with us through this difficult process, and we are most thankful. I'm extremely proud of the board of directors to ensure the continued provision of essential services and programs. The world as we know it has changed, but one thing will remain the same. We will continue to help people advance out of homelessness. Now let me introduce our Chief Executive Officer, Francis M. Esposito, who has a very special message to share.
Thanks for zooming in with us tonight. And in the space of the next few minutes that we'll be spending together, the lives of over 700 people may be changed. Since opening our doors in 1999, the partnerships played a critical role in transforming the lives of over 28,000 men, women, and children who found themselves homeless in Broward County. Today, the partnership is the largest comprehensive homeless service provider in the county. We're caring for an average of more than 700 people a day, and we offer them medical outreach services to those on the street. We operate 498 beds of emergency shelter at 2 different locations, one in Fort Lauderdale and the other in Pompano Beach, and we manage over 100 apartment units of scattered site housing throughout the county. And all of this is supported by the high-quality delivery of health care, dental care, job training, and social services, just the kind of things that keep people housed. And it was the partnership's decades of success in providing housing solutions that resulted in us entering into a joint venture agreement with Green Mills, a local private affordable housing developer, which ultimately led to the Florida Housing Finance Corporation's award of more than $25 million for the construction of 7 on 7th, a 72-unit mixed-use residential community. So, what's a mixed-use residential community? It means that 7 on 7th will become a beautiful home to hard-working folks like our teachers, our police officers, and our firefighters. With a job training center right there on site, it'll become a home to families and a home to those who once lived on the streets. 7 on 7th will be the first new housing development of its kind to be built in Broward County in the last 10 years. And we'll be sure to keep you in the loop on the groundbreaking that we're planning for sometime in December. Now, I want to go back to something I said a minute ago about keeping people housed. Isn't that what COVID did to all of us? It kept us housed. It kept us home. It kept us on high alert and taught us how to take every precaution necessary to keep ourselves and our families safe. First responders are those very special people who embrace the responsibility of keeping our people safe. And with all due respect to our law enforcement, our medical, and our firefighting teams, isn't that what happened to all of us? Because of COVID, we all became first responders. With record numbers of job loss, unemployment, hospitalizations, and deaths, we tried to keep our businesses, our families, our neighbors, and our friends safe. We learned how to telecommute. We became teachers to our children and our grandchildren. We learned how to Zoom meetings and how to order from Instacart. We felt real fear. We became isolated. We desperately missed our friends, our family, and our colleagues. And some of us even gained the quarantine 15. At the partnership, we lived the same experience. We turned down our business model upside down. We lost revenue. We lost volunteers. We even lost some lives. But we never lost touch. Overnight, the CDC's guidelines became our new Bible. We converted our dormitories into quarantine facilities. Our meal programs became an outdoor dining experience. We took temperatures and taught protective hygiene. We washed our hands, we wore our masks, and we kept our distance. Yeah, we kept our distance, just like the hundreds of thousands of people throughout our nation have done. They've kept their distance from the homeless population. Long before COVID, the homeless were without jobs, medical attention, family support, transportation, childcare, or housing. They were without hope until they came to the Broward Partnership. Bill just celebrated his 71st birthday with us. He's a proud man with a 10th grade education who never married and doesn't have any living family members. What Bill did have was a long and successful work history with a local home improvement company until his forgetfulness forced him out of that job. He didn't understand. Bill didn't know then that his memory loss and his trouble walking was because he was suffering from a slow-growing degenerative brain disease. And with no family, no real savings, and no job, he couldn't pay his rent anymore, and he became homeless for the very first time in his life. Months later, when he collapsed on the street, an ambulance brought him to the ER where he was diagnosed with COVID. Bill's recovering with us now. We're working on keeping him healthy. He's made application for his Social Security benefits, and we're hoping to find him some housing where he can and where he will get the care that he needs. And talk about taking care of someone, please, let me tell you about Dominic. Such a hard-working father, and his 12-year-old son, Christopher, who's a hard-working 8th grader. Both of them were survivors long before the pandemic. Before COVID hit, they had to share a heartbreaking goodbye. And it was the day that Mom was finally committed to a mental health facility. She couldn't take care of herself anymore. They had nowhere to turn and didn't have any family members nearby to help them. So, life just kept moving along like it does for so many of us when we're in hard times. Dad kept going to work every day, and Chris went to school every day until COVID hit. And then you can guess how that part of the story ends. Yep, Dad lost his job in a layoff, but the other half of the story is that he loses far more than his job. He and Chris lose everything they owned because their entire apartment building caught fire and burned down to the ground. Because of a very strong belief in God, Dominic fought his way back, and with our help, he was able to find a new job. In fact, he found a compassionate employer who has given Dominic some office space right where he works, so he's able to set up a virtual classroom for Chris. So father and son are in a classroom together. Now we just need to get them a place that they can call home together. We were able to help Carlos find one. Carlos was another young, hard-working guy who lived with his mother after his father had passed away. Unrelated to his employment, Carlos suffered a traumatic brain injury that resulted in a serious decrease of cognitive impairment, so he couldn't walk or get around at all by himself without his wheelchair. And during recovery from the accident, his mother passed away. With no other family members, and now wheelchair-bound, Carlos lost his job and eventually lost his mother's apartment. You can imagine the depression, the grief, and the feelings of humiliation. Carlos was so angry when he came to us. He was mad at God, he was mad at his life, and he was even madder at the wheelchair. It took us months to break through that anger, but we did. And slowly we gained his trust and his attitude changed. He began to feel hopeful. Little by little, we worked on his physical therapy and his independence, and in the end, we found him a home. Could you ever dream of celebrating your 50th wedding anniversary at a homeless shelter? No, neither could Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Gainfully employed their whole lives. Joan is 77, Rudy is 71, and their son Jimmy is 34. They only found themselves homeless because the landlord sold the apartment building that they were living in, and the new owners wouldn't renew their lease. They didn't have any savings for first, last, and security in order to get into another place. They didn't know who to call or what to do, so they picked up what they could and moved it into their car, a little broken-down SUV. And they lived in that car for more than 3 weeks. They slept in Walmart's parking lot, Rudy and Joan were in the two front seats, Jimmy was in the back seat, and the rest of the SUV was crammed with everything they could stuff in it. The church group was able to help them out for a little while with food and showers, and eventually they found their way to us. We helped them file for Social Security, and we're working on finding them housing now. But very sadly, that Jimmy, who was severely paranoid schizophrenic, won't be living with them anymore. No. For everyone's safety, Jimmy had to be hospitalized, and we don't know if he'll ever come back to them again. So, the stories about Bill, Dominic, Christopher, Carlos, Rudy, Joan, and Jimmy, they're just a few of the thousands of faces that are homeless in Broward County. Some are in emergency shelters or housing programs like ours, while others, at least 1,000 that I know of, are on the streets, and there will be more to come when the moratorium on eviction ends. Yes, right now we don't know how many more people we're going to see become homeless, but we do know this. We need to get the elderly like Bill and the Smiths housed. We need to get Carlos to physical therapy, and we need to get Christopher some new clothes and a new home. When I began my conversation with you earlier tonight, I suggested that maybe 700 lives could be changed. And they can be, if you'll become a first responder to our needs. Please go to our webpage at BPHI and click on the donate button for whatever amount you may be able to give. People like Dominic, they need transportation in order to get back and forth from work, and $100 to a $250 donation would get them at least 3 months of bus passes. We had over 100 families with us this year, and there were over 207 kids in those families. Yeah, some of the parents are working, but they don't have enough money for the new sneakers, the bicycle that they've never had, or the new clothes that they need. And they're not able to save the $500 to $1,000 that it would take to get some furniture, clean bedding, a television, or maybe even a laptop now that remote employment is so popular. Please, for our singles, our families, and our senior citizens, yes, we may be able to get some of our families a job or get the seniors their Social Security, but they don't have the money for first, last, or security deposits. With a donation of $2,500 to $5,000, you can change their lives. You can give people a place to call home. And when I began this conversation, I said that 700 lives might be changed tonight. And maybe they will be if you become one of our first responders by visiting our webpage. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I encourage the viewing audience to support our efforts to make Broward County a better place for all of its residents. Donations can be made at www.bphi.org.
Wow, that was powerful. Thank you, Ken and Fran. Don't forget, the silent auction closes at 9 p.m., so get your bids in. And now, it's time to turn back to the world of magic. You know, whenever possible, I like to work with everyday objects. What could be more everyday than a paper bag, and even more importantly, the contents, bottle of ketchup. I'm going to make the bottle vanish from the bag simply by waving my hand over the bag, counting to 3, the bottle will disappear. Watch this. 1, 2, 3, and the bottle. Let me do this again. Paper bag, bottle of ketchup. Watch again. 1, 2, 3, and the bottle is gone. All right, I heard that. I mean, I pick up on people's thoughts. And I know some of you are thinking right now, making the bottle vanish is easy. But wait, the tough part is bringing it back. You know, if you're going to watch that closely, forget the whole thing. Okay. It's time to announce our second raffle winner of the night. Who will be the lucky winner of the Vacation Like a VIP, a premier Fort Lauderdale staycation courtesy of the Greater Fort Lauderdale Visitors Bureau? And the winner is Lisa Katai. Congratulations, Lisa.
Community involvement has always been a Keith family affair. We've built a legacy across 3 generations of helping improve the quality of life for people experiencing homelessness and the community as a whole. Beginning with my grandfather, the late William V. Keith, a founding member of the Broward Partnership, our family has continuously demonstrated how the power of philanthropy can promote public good, and no one in our family exemplifies this more than my mother, Dodie Keith-Lazowick. Dodie is a true champion of the homeless. She has worked tirelessly to help those in need and has been vital to expanding the mission of the Broward Partnership. The video you're about to watch tells the story best.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I am so honored for this tremendous recognition, and I am humbled by those who have received this award before me. They are spectacular men and women. To tell you a bit about myself, I also have to tell you about my family, my company, my community, my colleagues, this board that's so tremendous, and the staff of Broward Partnership, because no one accomplishes anything alone. So I recognize both the Keith family and the Keith Corporation, who have a long history of community involvement, and that all came in the beginning from my parents, and it's part of who we are in our core. Broward Partnership has always been high on our list of engagement for the truth of the ability to truly help change people's circumstances and rebuild lives that many thought were lost forever. My father, Bill Keith, was a founding board member and the first chair here at Broward Partnership, but he didn't do it alone. There was a large group of community activists who raised in Fort Lauderdale and said, we can do better. And they did, and many are engaged today. After his death, we are proud to carry on his legacy at the partnership. We have the Bill Keith Garden, which is a special area, a serenity area where residents and visitors can stop and sit in the sunshine and rethink their lives. The Bill Keith Family Endowment Fund was set up the year he died, and many of you continue to contribute to that fund annually, which allows his work to continue on after he's gone. I have a strong personal passion for being engaged in the community. I do believe if you're not actively participating in some way beyond yourself, then you are not truly productive part of our community. You have to do more. However, for me, participating in projects and simply helping those less fortunate actually gives me great peace and fulfillment within myself. So I'm a bit selfish too. My heart pulls to those who have found themselves homeless, most of who find themselves there simply because of poverty or a life-changing circumstance beyond their control. Years ago, it was hard for me to understand how families, men, women, children, could find themselves homeless. It seemed unusual from where I was raised. I have such a deep family roots, so many resources available to me, that if I faltered or if I needed help, they were there. I had guidance, I had education. I am truly one of the most fortunate in our community. Imagine having no one, no extended family, maybe an unforeseen illness, being single with a couple of children, no extended resources of any kind in our challenging world today. Think of the fear that may carry with you daily within your body. How would you deal with that? I follow in my father's footsteps to try to change the world and improve one life at a time. I've been so honored with my role at Broward Partnership to be able to join the board after his passing. I'm the first board member that's a second generation, which is a lot of fun for me to be able to sit in my father's chair. I was actually the first woman elected as chair to Broward Partnership and served for 5 years in that role. Today, as past chair, I'm also the Master Planning Committee chair. And with that, we've been able to do some great things. At our central facility, a few years back, the Master Planning Committee actually looked at an area that was underutilized. And we were able to convert it to a family dorm. With that, it was set up for single women and children, which was a growing population within the homeless community. More recently, because of the spectacular work of our staff and the constant professionalism that the Broward Partnership brings to the community, when the North facility in Pompano Beach was having challenges, Broward County reached out to us to expand our services into North facility. We are so proud that we operate facilities with hundreds of folks that travel through our organization every day. What is most exciting for the future at Broward Partnership, for me, we have created, as you've heard earlier this evening, 7 on 7. I am so honored that I'm allowed to participate in this outstanding organization, but will never forget, I am only one of many. After the death of JFK, former First Lady Jacqueline Kennedy wrote something special that I keep in my desk. She reminded us that John Kennedy believed so strongly that one's aim should not just be the most comfortable life possible, but that we should all do something to right the wrongs we see and not just complain about them. We owe that to our country, and our country will suffer if we don't serve her. He believed that one person can make a difference and that every person should try to do so. And with that, I ask you all to join me in the world to find something to make it a little bit different. And I thank you so much for being here tonight and giving me this great honor. And I cheers you. Thank you.
Incredible. I am extremely proud to recognize Dodie Keith-Lazowick with the 2020 James J. Blosser Community Trusteeship Award. Let's all raise our glasses and have a toast to Dodie.
Wow, I just am so honored and want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart. And what's so special to me is this award carries the name of James Blosser, who this organization wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. And he was such a dear friend of my father's. So I thank you for this honor. I'm so humbled, and cheers right along with you all. Thank you for being here with us tonight. Cheers.
Congratulations, Dodie. Before we go, we have one more raffle item. Our grand raffle prize, a brand new 9-bot scooter, courtesy of board member and event co-chair Jerry Gutierrez, president of United National Consumer Supplies. And the winner is Richard Brett. Congratulations, Richard. Don't forget, our silent auction is open until 9 p.m. Don't miss out on your chance to bid on some wonderful items. We are also looking forward to you joining us for our 2020 Breakfast for Champions of the Homeless Breakfast in Bed, taking place on Friday, December 4th. For more information on this event, please contact the Broward Partnership at 954-779-3990. It's magic time again. Just when you thought the excitement was over, there's more. Are you ready? I was once talking to a professor who said he could take 3 unequal lengths of rope and make them all look the same. Are you ready to see that? I was, and this is what he did. And I said, wait a minute. Hold on. I mean, the ends aren't equal, right? There's the medium, there's the very long, there's the short. He said, look, you just take the short piece of rope, you bring it over like so. Where's the medium? And now the very long. But the question remains, how can you have 3 even, equal lengths of rope if the middles aren't equal? You need to have some magic words. How about Broward Partnership? Those are great magic words. Watch. Yes, 3 even, equal lengths of rope. I know many of you are saying to yourselves, how does he do it? Of course, others are saying, why? I'm used to that. Look, You can count them. That's 1. Are your eyes even blinking? Look, this makes 2. And this makes 3. Now, a lot of times when I do this, people say, whatever happened to the short piece? Whatever happened to the medium? Whatever happened to the long? And you know what? They never left your sight. There's the short. There's the medium. And there's the very long. And that's magic. I don't even want to know how that's done. We hope you enjoyed spending time with us this evening. Please remember to go to the Broward Partnership's website to contribute to our mission. Your donations will save lives in our community. Stay safe, everyone.